Look like you need to be taken care of. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you a house or something, yo.
So I knew I was okay. He sold 11 million records. And he had deals with Jay-Z in them, but Jay-Z ain't gonna never. Dude, I always tell him all the time, Jay-Z ain't treat me like this.
Oh, he definitely like playing, you know, this nigga.
Jay-Z might not even see part of his own.
So we just had a, lit. Jay-Z will never take you to a party like this.
After
Things quickly heated up as Uncle Murda's comment appeared on social media. Supporters were divided. According to some, Murda was simply being faithful. Others claimed that he was causing unnecessary controversy. However, it was evident that he was not going to back down. Murda doubled down on another live stream, declaring, "I don't care what nobody says." Out here, 50 established empires. There isn't a single rapper on the planet who can disparage that man's hustle. He emphasized that 50 is more than just a rapper. He is a mogul and businessman who built a billion-dollar brand out of his name. Murda claimed that even if Jim tried, he couldn't achieve that level of accomplishment. He wasn't mistaken either. Jim has been talking on the street and flaunting his jewelry, while 50 has been managing his TV empire, purchasing real estate and gaining influence in Hollywood. Murda also brought that up. Jim always talks about being outside. "Bro," he remarked, "being outside doesn't pay the bills. Being intelligent does." The remarks were brutal. Fans used simple logic to say, "Murder, son Jim. You don't need a diss track."
You know, me from the hood, so people look at Bleak and don't understand the business he's doing, and they always look at Jay like,
That's why you got like Yayo talking about, Jay don't take care. I don't need Jay to go on tour.
smoke hard coke, yo.
Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of, nigga. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you an ounce or something, yo. You might need 2 ounces.
That's why
Paid in full move. I got a G for every bump in your face. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Why you worrying about?
However, when Murda brought up Dipset's dubious past, things truly became heated. He was implied that there was constant conflict behind the scenes, that Jim and Cameron had a falling out years ago, and that Dipset never had the same cohesiveness as G-Unit. "We never saw 50 beg anybody for a verse," he remarked. However, Jim, he changed loyalties more often than he did hairstyles. Because reputation is everything on the streets, that had a severe impact on Harlem pride. Furthermore, calling Jim contradictory was equivalent to calling him a fraud. The repost then appeared. As usual, 50 Cent threw gas on the fire and joined in on the fun. He posted a video of Murda discussing Jim with the remark, "My guy Murda just said what I was thinking." It only required that. It became official once 50 co-signed it. Uncle Murda wasn't the only one advocating for himself. Jim Jones was up against Gunnet. Insiders claim it's deeper than that. But blogs began to twist the story like it was a fresh fight forming. There is more to this than simply words. It has to do with loyalty. Through business controversy and all the online wars, Murda has been riding with 50 for years. He is among the few who have never changed sides or folded. Jim essentially came for the entire camp when he came for 50. Murda also made it clear to the world that, despite its modest size, the 50 circle is solid. Asterisk.
The nigga keep showing up next to that I'm. That's an indication to me he might have some feelings towards me. That ain't just everywhere I got an issue. Show up around me. So I mean, you don't get music. Because music ain't usually my motivation. My morals come off the curb. So if you see a nigga keep hitting around it, fuck when he come around, how your antennas go up. So he in a position where he might feel like he did.
The story had gone viral by the next day. Uncle Murda's tirades were being featured on hip-hop sites with headlines. The conflict resumes, just like Uncle Murda defends 50 Cent against Jim Jones Records and Gunnet against Dipset. Even those who weren't participating began to take sides. Murda voiced what we've all been thinking, according to several supporters. Jim simply spoke too much. Some argued he ought to have said nothing. It's elders vying for influence. However, Murda was unconcerned. "It isn't clout when you defend family," he said with the same vigor. Jim Jones, however, eventually answered in his own unique manner, not directly, but through some clever social media rhetoric. He shared a picture and wrote, "I don't argue with sidekicks." Fans were fully aware of the person he was referring to. He was essentially making fun of Murda for being a 50s enforcer by calling him a sidekick. However, that simply exacerbated the situation. "If I'm a sidekick, you're still the extra in your own movie," Murda said with an instant clap. The internet blew up. Memes were all over the place. People are comparing hits, wondering who actually governed New York in their prime, and posting Dipset versus G-Unit edits. Murda then went farther. He recalled how 50 Cent had once shown Jim affection by calling him out, inviting him to events, and even praising Dipset's cause. He stated, "50 showed you love when nobody cared, but instead of saying thanks, you threw shade." 'Cause it's true. That part struck a deep chord. Even though he occasionally made fun of Jim, 50 always appreciated his hustle. However, that regard became a target after Jim dubbed him corny. Murda is now ensuring that he holds him responsible for it.
Of a bleak, like, Fib look out for you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
And then he said he eat his home halal.
You know what I mean? Right. I'm chewing a lie on my own.
He eats on his own. I eat on my own too.
Right.
I go on my own tour. I just came off tour.
Right.
When have you seen Bleak on tour? On his own. Jay-Z is not a bad guy. Bleak is not a bad guy. I'm not saying. I'm saying to you that Jay-Z was all business with them niggas. When Buck up on his taxes, 50 a piece or more. When Prodigy bought a house and needed more money, 50 a piece or more. Prodigy are paying back. The thing with 50 is, it was business and we was friends. I don't feel like Bleak was Jay-Z friend. I don't feel like Young Guns was Jay-Z friend. It came to a point where 50...
Even Cameron, who always avoids Jim's mess, was compelled to respond. He was impartial, although he dropped an enigmatic post that reads, "Everyone wants to be the boss, but nobody wants to pay the cost." Fans immediately linked that to the conflict, claiming that Cam was subtly supporting Murda and 50. Whether or not that is accurate, it gave the narrative a new dimension. Officially, the conflict between Queens and Harlem had become one of pride and perception. Uncle Murda didn't even need to speak at this point. The task was being done for him via the internet. It appeared to be a classic Gunnet versus Dipet nostalgia moment as old interviews, music videos, and turmoil from the 2000s resurfaced. However, it had nothing to do with music this time. It had to do with who is still powerful in 2025. Asterisk.
You gotta, you know what I mean? That's why I respect him. Because we had more of an exist. We had 50 Cent. So I knew I was okay. We sold 11 million records. Even motherfucker, he had deals with Jay-Z and them, but Jay-Z ain't gonna never. And I always tell him all the time, Jay-Z ain't treating you like this.
Oh, he definitely like playing, you know, this.
Jay-Z might not even say part of it.
So we
Yo,
we just had the party Miami with the Kardashians, Serena Williams, and everybody. We just finished performing. Great time, right? First thing my man here wanna say, yeah, lit. Jay-Z will never take you to a party like this.
You might get him.
Nah, I don't get invited.
I respect Jay-Z. Instagram comments. Because these people are made to break you. They want to break artists. They want to break you. Nobody believe you. I was in 50 crib, no roaches and all that, me in a little spot. Small spot. Nobody believed in that. We playing Get Rich or Die Trying already in the crib. He had asked that done. Like, let's just go off. And like, everybody get confused. Because they don't think that your dream is.
By the end,
Uncle Murda had made his argument very evident by the end of the week. For 50 Cent, he stood on business, and it was respected by the culture. Whether you agreed with him or not, you had to acknowledge that loyalty like that is rare in our field these days. Murda didn't do it to gain attention or influence. He moved in that manner, so he did it. Steadfast, devoted, and prepared to ride for his people. Fans have been praising him for this reason, stating things like, "Murder's the last of a dying breed." Conversely, Jim Jones appeared irritated every time he attempted to post anything inspirational. Excerpts from Murda's tirades and clown emojis appeared in the comments. "Don't start anything if you can't finish it," one fan wrote. And that was the ideal way to describe the atmosphere. Jim attempted to clown 50, but the joke didn't work out. Rather than casting 50 in a negative light, it served as a reminder to everyone that Gunnet is still respected years after their heyday, and that's how they differ from one another. 50 created an empire that survived international agreements, TV series, liquor brands, and rap feuds. Jim continues to struggle for acceptance in the music industry. At one point in his life, Uncle Murda even said it best: "An individual who provided a model for the entire culture cannot be disliked." And 50 did just that. Rappers now have a business strategy that goes well beyond music thanks to him. Ultimately, Jim made an effort to put things right by claiming in a different interview that he had no genuine animosity for 50 and that it was all in jest. However, it was already too late. Murder has already been declared the winner by the streets. 50 didn't have to say anything at all. He continued to watch from the throne while reposting memes, allowing Murder to speak for itself. That's power. This whole event demonstrated one thing: you have warriors who fight for you while you sit back and count checks. Clout is always defeated by loyalty. Uncle Murda demonstrated that real recognizes real, regardless of how large the names get. Even though Jim Jones has moved past Harlem, Gunnet continues to operate on unwavering convictions. Murder guarded the code, not just 50. And that type of authenticity is more powerful than any diss tune in today's rap game, where everyone is chasing clicks and pretending to be at peace. Yes, Jim made disparaging remarks, but Uncle Murda was the one who summoned the storm. One thing became evident once the smoke cleared. In this industry, you may play with a lot of individuals, but you don't play with 50 Cent's name. Not while Uncle Murda still had his.